That's it. I'm growing a beard this week.
Thank you. Time back on. That's rough, big boy.
We're back. Max,
we're back.
We're back, episode 33.
Yep.
We're getting up there.
Is this the first time you've led?
I think it might be the second.
Okay.
How have I gone?
Yeah, good. We're back.
We're back. Well,
we're
are.
back. It's gusto. Good.
Yeah, a lot of gusto. Thanks for coming. We've got Christian Petracca as our guest this week for the first time as well. Everyone knows now in the title. Hey, Christian, how you going?
How you going? Good. Very
so
excited.
me and Christian have been back and forward a little bit. I'd say since February, trying to get him on the podcast. It's now August.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
He's
a man in demand.
He's a man in demand.
Supply and demand is a lot of
Had
demand.
a lot of media. Good roast been up my
Yep. So we're a no-cut podcast. So that's
one take straight in.
That's
Sorry.
what
There we go.
How far up? Good joke.
But thanks for coming on. It's good to have you.
I'm excited.
The way
excited.
It's good. I'm glad you're excited. We've got a nice little scone arrangement. From,
so the beautiful people at Oliver Lock, which is Sandra Gawny.
Those who are vlogcasting would see that immediately.
Mum has delivered with her sponsorship.
What have we got?
So she met with Charlie Spargo throughout the week. Spargs, if you don't know, is our new CFO, chief of sponsors. He works back of the house for us.
Good on him.
He's got there's something big announcement today on the sponsorship front, so I'll save it for later.
But basically, our guests get some slices and scones to take home.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited. I'm a massive
scone guy.
Scone guy. I'm a scone guy.
Are you a scone guy? Are you a scone or scone?
Scone.
Yeah.
Scone.
Tell me.
I don't get the scone.
Scone's very medieval. Scone.
Yeah. A scone. It's all a bit British.
Hello.
Hello,
You
Bob.
sound like you're from London.
All right, so let's start. Western Bulldogs. This is where we talk about the game that just happened.
We start with the game.
Yeah, we as a footy podcast, which we will branch out at some point, Gus and Gawny, and talk all things politics and vaccinations, and we're not going to do that on this podcast.
5G.
5G. Conspiracies. We'll have a conspiracy
Bill
episode
Gates,
soon.
no, he's not getting the mention.
Illuminati.
Denver Airport.
No, we've said too much already.
They'll get cut. Watch them cut the Illuminati stuff.
No, they won't. So we talk about Western Bulldogs. We lost by 3 goals.
We got some feedback once, Track. We took a week off after a loss, so people didn't like that.
Wow.
We're here now.
We've lost a few more times, and it's not as consistent. But so we got real close. 4 points
we did.
through the last quarter.
There were some positive signs. I feel like, even though we lost, it was a bounce back after I would say probably a worse week against Hawthorn.
Yep.
That was. We probably deserved to lose that one and got lucky with the draw. But this one, Western Bulldogs are a terrific team.
How can you say, we're happier with the loss than what we were for the draw?
Which is weird. But I think the way we played is a better, we gave ourselves a better account of ourselves against the Doggies and the Hawks. And, we won contested possession. That's always a big one for us. We got that done. And I think just cleaning up a few things around goal and met with our disposal. And, we're what's the expected score metric? You know that one?
Yeah, we were up by 3 points.
Yeah, so based on where you get your shots, they give you an expected score, and we did really well there. So we've just got to actually finish them now. That's the key. But it was good. I felt like it was a step in the right direction.
There was a show in the show. There was a game in the game.
Is it?
There was the.
Are we going to go there for straight up?
No. We're talking the midfield battle.
Okay, sorry. I was talking about something else, which I have to talk about eventually. I'll let you go first, though.
Yeah.
Yours out.
So Oliver Petracca, second, third Brownlow favourites, reigning best and fairest champion Christian Petracca. Clayton won the year before, up against the reigning Brownlow medal favourite. Can you say reigning Brownlow medal favourite?
Bungled this one, but
and
essentially
Marcus Bontempelli, Jackson McRae, and Libba. Libba and Viney, they're quite even.
Yep.
So you've got a great battle. Who took the chocolates? You or Bont?
Well, they won.
They won, yeah, but
Bont was the star. He
kicked one on his right foot, and it laced out target.
That was unbelievable. That was awesome.
Can you kick on your opposite like that?
Kicked the left foot snap. My God.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, but
left
could
foot
you
snap
hit
offs.
Jamara coming out of the square lace out?
No, I couldn't hit the side of a barn on the weekend. I was huge. But yeah, if I need to work with Choco more.
Choco. The
Yeah.
Is he an advocate? Is a listener?
He's not a friend of the podcast
we
yet.
wanted to bring him on. He actually said no.
Did you ask him?
I did, because there was a story about
Have we asked Ed yet?
Princess Diana. Yeah, we asked Ed, and that was the stupidest. Who suggested that last week?
Gibbo.
Gibbo said just ask him. So I went up and asked him. He said no, never, and then walked off. He might have called me an idiot as well. You're an idiot, Angus, and then walked off.
So we're on to Gold Coast this week. From all reports...
Sorry, mate, I can't... before we
No. We're on to Gold Coast this week.
I'm just going to jump in, Max. Let me just jump in. Before we leave the
If
Doggies.
something dramatic happened in your game, I wouldn't just bring it up.
No, I'm just saying I want to apologise. It's an apology because against Port Adelaide, when you had Mark of the Year 1 taken on you, I then went to try and... So what I did, we got podcast pride. I went straight up to Lysette, their big bloke, and I said, come here, mate, I'll take one on you. And I got up, nearly took a screen, I dropped it.
The photo looks like you took it. So
And again, it's a deja vu. I sort of looked over and which one do you think was better? Kobe, what's his name? Waitman?
Cody Waitman.
Waitman. So Waitman got up and I don't know which one's better to be honest, but I missed an opportunity. I should have gone after English on your behalf.
I know which one's better.
Well, technically you've got a whole car now because you know what I mean?
Half and half, yeah.
Half and half. Like Georgiada's got half of it and then you get the other half.
No, because I know which one was better. Jack Rewalt. I am
Jack
campaigning
Rewalt.
for
Jack Rewalt.
Can we? That could be our
I am
campaign.
campaigning for Jack Rewalt Mark of the Year.
This is the same as the Jeremy Howe when he had 2 Mark of the Year noms and they gave it to Danaher. This could be the same as you. So we could be going 2 Gawns or stuff like that. Let's give it a Rewalt.
This could be our new movement.
Brownlow night when they put the top 3 up. I'll boo the 2 and then stand up and applaud Rewalt's.
I think
is Rewalt's better than Tim O'Brien's?
Wow, there's so many good ones.
Is Tim O'Brien's better than the 2 Gawns?
I think we're putting all the Gus and Gawny chips on Jack Rewalt and riding him home hard.
Tim O'Brien's better than Georgiada's.
I think
we're putting all the chips on Jack Rewalt and really riding him home. So
no one even else counts.
Do you vote for it or do they decide?
Fans
I'll
vote.
be voting.
So I think Richmond's got a big supporter base.
Yeah. We have a big supporter base. We got a big supporter base.
We need everyone out of Gus and Gawny. Jack Rewalt is the Mark of the Year.
And probably the century, if we're being honest. If we were to sit back and be really honest with it. So, but yeah, I wanted to apologise for that. We can now talk about the Gold Coast.
Thank you. Gold Coast this week. The plan is to play in Gold Coast from all reports.
That's the plan, but
who knows? That could change. Angus doesn't think COVID's that big of a thing.
So I had a hands up in the air. Said COVID wasn't a big thing and Gawny should stop talking about 3 weeks ago. And then a day later, we were straight into a lockdown and here we are, still locked down. So hands up for that one.
Against another good midfield, Took.
Did
you play against him as a kid?
I was in the under 12s team Vic team with him. He had the big afro.
Yeah, right.
He had a big afro. Coach Carter, sorry. Quote. It's a big Coach Carter quote. He was a gun, very good player, and now he's a star. He's just work rate's unbelievable. Yeah, forward and back. He's awesome.
We've got Matty Rao.
Noah Anderson.
Sharon Rao.
Yeah, a few. I think Brandon Ellis is out with a hammy.
Hugh Greenwood's out as well.
Hugh Greenwood's out. So they got some.
They got the fella that Harmsy tagged 3 or 4 years ago. You'll need to cut this.
Gary
because
Ablett.
I should remember his name.
Gary Ablett. Junior.
No,
his name's
matter.
Will
Swallow?
something or other. Setterfield. No, he got traded.
Anyway.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Will Brodie. He's
Brodie.
He's not playing though.
He is. He played on the weekend.
He played on the weekend. Yeah.
He's actually playing track.
Yeah.
I thought he was playing. Yeah.
Anyway, and then 7 days in quarantine over at West Coast.
Well, that's the way it's looking at the moment.
Is looking that way before a big Saturday night
Wow,
game
that's
to
going
West
to be
Coast.
mentally wow.
Yeah. So the big thing is when I think back to the hub and go who did well in the hub, who didn't do well in the hub.
Who did well in the hub?
Track had an unbelievable year, but had a really poor first week in the hub.
In Manly or?
Yeah, but not on field. He was super in the Hawthorn or Gold Coast game, whichever one was first.
Yeah.
He was super.
Off field.
But off field got to him. So he just recently met beautiful Bella.
Just recently?
No, when he got into the hub.
there.
Oh, understood.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is his girlfriend.
January.
And
3 months.
early on, we were gone for 30 days. We sort of said, players with wives and kids, bring them. Others, let's just suck it up for 30 days.
Danielle
We're not even bringing our whole
she
group.
didn't get selected.
Yeah, Danielle, Jess stayed home the whole time.
She missed out on selection. That was a tough conversation.
Then it got pretty real on us pretty quickly in the first week that we're going to be there for a while. Melbourne were hitting 300 cases a day. And Bailey Fritsch managed to get Nat, his girlfriend, over the border.
And when we say Bailey Fritsch managed, I'm pretty sure she got in the car and just
she
made a
drove
beeline
to
for the
Albury
border.
and beat lockdown.
8-hour drive.
Beat the border closing by like 5 minutes.
Brilliant.
And when Trax heard this and realised Bella had a chance to maybe get in the car with Nat or get over the border and then realised that there's officially no other way, he had a bad week.
So all I'll say is Bella reflects my form.
Sure.
So of
Ever
course
since Bella's been in the
ever since
picture.
I've been Bella in the picture, it's I don't know what else to say.
She was
it speaks for itself.
again, this is Track saying it, which is similar to Max Tax. Apparently, I've
Track
got Max
tax.
Tax.
Track tax.
Bella was better than Ash Barty
Sure, at tennis.
at tennis.
I actually have heard that.
Yeah.
Is that from you? Did you tell me that?
Yeah, it was for me. I'd never said she was better than she was ranked number 2 to Ash Barty.
And Ash
okay.
Barty was ranked 1.
And Ash
I'm
Barty
sure
was ranked
that means
1.
she would have beaten her
She
at
would have
some
beaten her
point.
one
though.
day. What? Sure.
I've actually never asked has she beaten Ash Barty. So
Wow.
But yeah, she's very good at tennis.
Yeah.
Don't,
Well, you
take,
know-
don't really take an interest.
What do you mean?
You haven't asked her if she beat Nash.
No, I never asked. I should actually ask her.
Does she play?
Okay.
Obviously not playing tennis.
hates it
anymore.
now.
Understood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why's that?
Yeah, not sure.
You don't really talk to her much about tennis.
I think she doesn't want to talk about
It's
it.
about like midfield position.
Yeah, it's just about
when they're
running
having dinner.
patterns. Yeah, running patterns and
Who was better, me or Bond? She has to say.
Bond. She'll probably say Bond.
No, but it's an exciting couple of weeks for us and for our club because we've got everything to play for over the next 4 weeks. So
Correct.
I'm looking forward to it. Getting back over to God's country.
So back to your question, the hub in the 7 days in
Yep.
WA, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, have you
Is Bella
talked
coming?
to, have you talked to
Well, I think I'm going
Damien
to dust
Pearson?
off the PS4. I'm going to bring that back.
You might actually enjoy it.
Yeah, could
I've
I
got
not?
heaps of family in Perth, which is kind of frustrating because we
Won't
can't
be able to see him.
I know. I know. I was going to say that.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, we could do the old way from the
Yeah, we could.
Logs. Always find a way to meet each other, though. That's the thing. Probably pay a bit of cash or something to get into the hotel.
Yeah. We obviously can't comment on that.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what
You
you're
love Italian food, though. So
I love. I have
Yeah, I
pasta.
do love
before I
pasta.
play.
Big pizza
So
man.
you guys
Yeah.
can comment. I mean, you have my permission. So.
Okay.
Now let's talk you.
Let's.
7 years.
Yeah, I wanted to bring this up. So obviously, if
Well,
you're
8
talking
years,
from a
8 years.
chronological news perspective, we're probably a few weeks behind the rest of the conventional news media in dropping this story. But you signed for 7 years, and I remember you in particular, Max, reflecting. I would say collective sentiment that it's the first time that the best player in the AFL has committed to our club.
Yep.
And you're on the podcast now. You've probably got a bit of an insight, being at the centre of the process yourself. How was that whole decision? Obviously, I'm sure. Well, it was widely reported you had a lot of other options, and I'm sure you did. But you've obviously committed to us. And what was it about the group or the club? Just give us some insight there.
Well, first of all, Collingwood was never
Myth
issue.
busted.
I don't know. Never. Nothing there.
Oh, no,
So-
you were about to say something.
No, I was going to. No, the reason why I looked at Gawny because we have a running joke that I'm still a Collingwood supporter.
In his second week at the club, Collingwood were playing on a Friday night and they were down by 2 goals and Track Road, come on, Pies, you can do this.
Is that so?
Which is pretty funny.
Yeah, it was very funny. It was very weird. I was very immature. So, no hesitance at all. Was always going to be here. I consider myself a very loyal person. And yeah, I'm someone that wanted to sign early. I felt like for me, just having that pressure next year or even back into this year, I just couldn't be bothered with it, to be honest. So for me, the club was in unbelievable position. We still are. And I mean, the people around us is just, the culture we're building as leaders is pretty special. And Goody as well has been amazing for me. Since I first got to the club. So, I looked around the AFL and there's just no other team I would want to be part of. I think Melbourne's just a special place in my heart. They've drafted me, pick number 2, and I've been here ever since, and I've loved it.
Are you amazed? Like it comes with, and I understood because I was on 360 a couple of times in 2019. When you sign that line, they're going to bring stuff up that you'll have to talk about. Are you surprised that Robbo was going at you about your contract 20 months before it was out?
Well, the funny thing is when you go on those shows, you've got an agenda, so they go, "This is what we're going to talk about," and then he just went off the cusp, and I was, I was myself, to be honest.
Your first show, I personally didn't watch it, but I got sent your first sentence or answering a question about something that was quite topical, and you struggled your way through it.
It was about the bump. It was about a tackle. And so the morning I was practicing, I was like, I'm just going to go really broad. I feel for the guy who bumped, but I also feel for the guy who got bumped. And then Rewalt, which goes, bumps shit. Don't have any sympathy for him. I think it was Dangerfield. He bumped Jake Kelly for Adelaide.
Yep.
And then as soon as he said that, I had to change my view. So I was like, I definitely agree with what Rewalt said. Yeah, I think the bumps are, if you elect a bump, you're going to suffer with the consequences. So it was pretty funny.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, I can only imagine that would have intensified if you hadn't signed all year. Like, imagine you wouldn't have enjoyed going on the show. You would have actually started to hate going on the show.
Yeah, I just think I knew the answer. So I had this conversation with my manager. I mean, if we know the outcome is going to be signed with Melbourne, what's the point of waiting a year and a half? You may as well just get it done now, and we can get in negotiations for a couple of weeks. And
I also get why people don't. I know previous history, people have said they want to stay and then go, but for someone that has trust value and hasn't left so far in his 8-year career, surely he deserves trust. If he says, I'm going to stay, bang, question done. It's like the stuff going on with Clarko and Sam Mitchell at the moment. Clarko has said he'll coach next year. Mitchell said Clarko will coach next year, and no one believes him. Like, I don't get why there's no trust out there.
Because the fact there's 65 billion journos.
Well, we're a part of that now. We're a part of the media war machine.
I didn't trust you. I said he's leaving.
We said this many times on this show, mate. I was skeptical.
I love Pendles.
I said he'll be Boomers 2021 Tokyo.
Yeah, you and me. I've been working on my step back, so I'm probably
Adelaide 36ers.
Speaking of Boomers,
sure.
now we're going to touch Olympics a little bit later on in the show in our news segment, but we have 2 or 3 guys that could potentially say they could have played Boomers if they focused on basketball from a younger age.
See, I'd count myself in that group.
I wouldn't.
Have you seen my step back?
Yeah.
Have you seen? You've seen
Yeah,
it.
but there's a lot
pretty
more
wet.
to it than a step back.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. Cream had the skyhook. Michael had the fadeaway.
I mean,
Dirk had the
Olympics
fadeaway.
these days, they're adding in different sports every year. There might be a step back championship.
And I'd be pretty good. I'm just saying, if you said if you did the whole time, you'd be a chance. I reckon I'd be a chance. That's all I'm saying.
Let's say Christian Petracca,
Okay,
Luke Jackson, Joel Smith. Out of those 3, I want your opinion. Who would have been realistically a chance to play Boomers?
Well, geez, that's tough.
That is very tough.
That's very tough. I'll take Joel Smith first.
Wow. So I'm taking Joel Smith as well, but I didn't think we're both going to agree on
So
that.
he's the. I'm just I'm an analytics. You know me, I'm an analytics guy, he's got the smoothest shot.
He's got a beautiful shot.
He's got that 3-point range. It's a 3-point game today.
Would you agree with that?
Well, the good thing about me is I can go get my Italian citizenship and just go play for Italy. So
Would that be an easier team to get in or harder?
Yes. Yeah, it'd be
Easier.
me, Gallinari.
Danilo. He's a
Could you
hooper.
play for that now?
No, could not play for it now. No.
So Dog is a real.
Dog
like,
is-
he's got a lot of hustle. He
Luke
hustles.
Jackson's got the most versatility. Sorry. Joel Smith's got the most
The
versatility.
podcast know Lucas Dogger.
Dogger,
You can
so
say Dogger.
yeah, so Dogger's got that hustle. He'll be the best offensive rebounder.
He'll give you a double-double every night.
But it's not like Joel Smith's.
He's got the most versatility.
He's the most like. It's a shooter's league.
And who's the best we've had come through? Is Corey Maynard
Watsy.
or Watsy?
Jack Watts.
Watsy's better than Corey Maynard?
Yep. Watsy was unbelievable.
And better than Joel Smith and Luke Jackson.
Yep.
Wow.
Watsy
Yeah,
was,
Watsy was-
AIS for both basketball and footy growing up, which is
Yeah,
like there's
Watsy was
15 people in each in there.
Yeah, Watsy was a freak. Absolute freak. Yep. Ask anyone, old coaches from
All right, I will.
Diamond Valley. Go, look them up.
I'll just come up.
Watsy was the clear standout. Probably the best. Oh, this is a big call. Probably the best AFL basketballer we've had of all time.
Pendles would be upset if Pendles is listening.
Because Pendles gets it on the commentary.
Yeah,
Former
big time.
Pendles' basketball
basketballer.
background. Yeah.
Watsy didn't get that. Watsy got, he's no good.
Really?
Yeah, that's no good at footy. That's what they every
Yeah,
time
I think
Watsy-
you have to be-
No, that's
Yeah.
no. I think personally, Watsy would be the best AFL basketballer out there.
Yeah, okay.
Our starting 5 back when they were all at the club
Unbelievable.
was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I
We
want to
always struggled at centre.
I mean, you're 6.
Yeah, but I can get a rebound.
9.
Is there a guy that comes on just for rebounds?
Yeah.
That's
you.
my role.
Taco
and I get
Fall.
and I get a ring for
So
that.
we've got you and Jack Viney, who both have a great role. Jack, we just gets his 6 fouls. He just pressures the point guard and gets himself
And then
off.
Austin Bradkey is obviously my size, but a little bit skinnier.
Yeah,
he's a
he's a-
basketballer.
So we'd be a run and gun team.
Yeah.
We're not a half court team.
No, hell
We're
no.
pushing it.
Yeah,
But
100%.
Steph Martin could play, and he was probably
very
the
good-
better centre.
Yeah, well, I
it's
mean-
interesting take. I've actually said this for the last couple of years. I might even pitch this idea. Is that okay?
Sure, mate. That's a.
Motor neuron disease, MND game. We should have a 5v5 basketball game against Collingwood.
That'd be
Give
great
me
until
Cox.
until
That actually
until
like a
there's
charity
like 3
game. A charity
ACLs.
game?
Imagine that.
No, you don't. It's an exhibition game.
So no one's trying
Until
that
the
hard.
fourth quarter, 2 minutes left, and we're down 2. You send me a pick and roll, but I think it'd be a great initiative.
I've always thought, because Melbourne Collingwood would have been the 2 clubs that have
'Cause they've got-
been blessed with basketballers.
Put me in the corner.
Because they've got Pendlebury,
I'll give you
Mason
six.
Cox, Jay
Got a blonde-
Rantel,
They've got a blonde
Tom
fella.
Wilson,
Tom Wilson.
Jack Madgen. So that was
Yeah,
great. That
someone
was
told
great
me
by
that
me.
Madgen.
Go Pies.
Someone
Knew
told me
that.
Madgen's a star.
Played
Yeah.
college.
Yeah.
And then
Who's our 5? Do you reckon?
I'll
It's a clear
I'll be
three.
point.
Yep, I'll take you at point.
Me,
Joel
Luke
shooting.
Jackson, Joel Smith, Austin Bradkey, and the fifth's up for spot.
Is it small forward? Fifth small forward.
How about
We
laser?
might even have you.
How about some
Maybe
laser
I'll go
specialist
centre and everyone
shooting?
drops down a spot.
Or some laser
interesting.
shooting. It's a
It's
shooters
interesting.
league. I just said it before.
It is a shooters league.
Anyway,
It might be Angus.
Could be me.
It might be 6-man.
Let's get that happening.
love
Let's
that.
raise some
I
money.
think that's actually really
We probably can't do it in the middle of the year.
Yeah, no, not during COVID. Yeah.
No, I'm more talking.
Oh,
like
yes, yes.
Well, you got a bad track record with basketball when you get injured, don't you? What did you do when you were young?
Ankle broke my dog and
Yeah.
reverse
Yeah.
dunked on him and landed on the. Yeah, it was a bad time. It was a tough time. We don't talk about track from last year, from 2 years
That
ago.
wasn't last year. That was your first year.
Yeah, but no, I'm saying from track from 2020
yeah.
onwards. Before we
I don't
talk
know
about-
track from 2019. Someone asked me who's Christian Petracca pre-2019. I wouldn't know.
Wouldn't
know either.
No, I wouldn't even know.
Different person.
Hey, I'm a nice guy.
so basketball. While we're on the topic of basketball, you tweeted Joel Embiid. Did he get back to you?
Who is? Can you just tell me Joel Embiid of AFL? Like,
Oh,
who's he tweeted? Like, how big's this guy? Is he?
well,
big?
he's
He's a top.
He's in the top
10
5?
player in the league.
Top 10.
Depends who your 10 is.
Depends
but
who you ask.
For me, he's top 10 in the
He was
league.
in the MVP conversation, so he's
It's interesting. He's very outspoken. I don't think we have any outspoken guys. Here
because he's got that the
So
American.
So is Jack Rewalt.
Nah,
Nah.
better. Like, what's Jack Rewalt? The top what player?
Yeah,
So he would not top.
I
Do
don't
you reckon he's a top 10 player?
He's taking the best mark of the year.
Well,
And
that.
actually, he's a 3-time All Coleman.
Yeah. Okay, well,
Yeah.
But no, we don't have any. Like in Australia, the mentality is not
Yeah.
like in America. Like
Okay.
they
Now, what
love
did
it.
Track
So
do to this
he,
guy?
Tweeted him. Go on
I'm
track.
good friends with Ben Simmons,
Yep.
Who's Ben Simmons for those who don't know?
a basketballer, from
Basketball player.
Philadelphia. And they lost the series 4-2 to Atlanta. 4-2. And Joel Embiid came out and said, pretty much potted Ben, being like, the reason why we lost was because of Ben, but wasn't like that. He was like, the reason why we lost because we can't make free throws and we can't shoot.
They're on the same team.
Yeah.
Teammates.
Yeah, right.
Thank you. That's the reaction I
It
got.
would be like Gawny saying the reason we
reason-
lost last week is because someone missed a set shot. In
He's
the
like
last couple
Ben
of
Brown
minutes.
missed the shot from the boundary line and kicked it out in the full. That's exactly
I
what
did
it's
say
like.
that.
He did say that. He said that to me last week
Oh, I should have tweeted
on this
that too.
podcast.
Anyway, so I was frustrated. So on Instagram, I reposted the video and I said, maybe you should look at your own game before you start potting your own teammates. I think I said bad look or something like that.
Which he no doubt saw.
Yeah,
Joel.
he saw it.
He
Yep,
did-
had the blue tick. Joel,
Did he?
No, he didn't.
Did he reply?
No replies. And then I actually had I wasn't thinking at the time, like I usually never do. And it just blew up.
Yeah.
And I copped a lot of backlash.
Really? Was it
Couple fair
hate
few followers,
backlash
so I
or
was
was
happy
it
with that.
was it hate backlash or were people like shut up track?
Shut up, track. I understand where you're coming from, but mainly you're an idiot. Like
Yeah, right.
your mate sucks type thing.
Is that the most notifications you've had?
Yeah, it was full on.
It would have blown up.
And you took
was
it down.
full on.
You took it down? And
Yeah, well, I was just over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I left it up for a couple of hours, and I was over
Got your
it.
followers and got out. So did Ben appreciate? Did he see it? Or I mean, he's probably he's not interested
he was probably
in all
in
that stuff.
He was probably in Turks and Caicos, just living his life in a
Yeah.
penthouse. So I don't think he really cares what anyone thinks, to be honest, which is
Yeah.
kind of good. So I think it's the Australian way. We would never pot anyone for your teammate.
We're very
especially.
safe in the media.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Is that,
well-
I'm guessing he did it in the media.
we're all
Yeah.
robots, aren't we? We're all
Yeah.
robots.
They're actually quite cool. They get interviewed like when they're getting changed and stuff, like in the change room. Not that that's what I want to
Yeah.
see, but
Russell Westbrook, my favorite player.
How's he going?
I don't know. I think he'll get traded.
Where to?
Lakers, I heard.
That would be really bad,
Yeah.
don't you think?
I don't think it'd be great for him. Yeah.
Tweet
I
that.
just love his. I love
Russell.
his- Yeah.
you're friends with Ben.
Yep.
Did you meet Kardashian and them?
Nope. Never met Kendall.
Did you ever
that the one
talk
he
about it
dated?
with him? Was it like a?
Yeah.
Was he like? It was real. It's not just one of those fake paparazzi conspiracies.
No,
or
it was real.
Wow.
It was real. It's pretty crazy.
Did you ever like Zoom and she was there in the background or
Nah.
no?
Nah.
Okay, yeah, cool. I played golf with Ben Simmons' dad. I told you that.
This is the funniest story.
Go
Have you
on.
heard This is
Oh,
hilarious.
Well, I've
What
got
did he
a-
hate you or something?
Well, I've
Yeah,
got
it's-
a golf polo that I always wear. It's my Miami Heat polo.
It's a really nice color.
It is a
light,
nice
light
polo.
blue. It's like an aqua.
And I didn't think anything of it. And I knew I was playing with Ben Simmons' old man and two other mutual friends. And I rocked up and he was sort of off me at the first tee, like hardly shook my hand.
What, does he hate
Track's
Miami?
like, Track's like, this guy's a stand-up fella. You'll love him. I'm like, go there. I'm like, this guy's a bit standoffish. What's going on? And then like by hole 3, he's like, do realize you're wearing that polo was like me wearing a Carlton Blues
Oh,
jumper.
you're joking.
I'm like, oh my God, I'm wearing the Miami Heat polo. Because I think he hates Miami Heat, does he?
I
something like that?
don't think so. Not
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Not sure. But I think so.
Sounds like he might hate it.
Yeah.
Like
And
just
then
by
I
the
started playing horrible golf, and he's off 1 or 2. And
Oh.
I was slowing up the round looking for balls, and I think he had the worst.
He wouldn't have realised that you have zero idea about basketball besides Kelly Olynyk.
Yeah, you
like
like
who
it.
plays for Miami.
I think he did once I got talking. I'm like, oh yeah, I went to the basketball, watched Kelly Olynyk against who's that good guy from Timberwolves who's like a star. What's his
Yeah,
name?
Carl Anthony Towns. Oh, that would have been funny. I wish I was there.
One thing we've done on this podcast a lot is our top 10.
Yeah, top 10.
And we felt like we probably should have had you on as a guest for our top 10 comedies.
That's fine.
Now-
For the comedies.
Yeah, now you're underprepared. We haven't asked
No,
you
I've-
to
I
write
think
down.
he's
I think-
accurately
I think
prepared. His whole life's been building up
I
to this
know.
moment.
But you literally have every movie quote
Ever.
from every comedy movie. I just want to know
Scattergun, just
Yeah.
a few. Just pop a few out there in the
What's
top
in-
10.
what's
Depends what you
what's-
want. Like, give me a movie.
Oh, I mean, geez. The Step Brothers. Step Brothers is an easy. That's an easy
I think
one.
most people can do a lot of Step Brothers.
Yeah, the trophy fish. We would
been to
often fish and bonita. Yeah, they're trophy
Yeah,
fish.
they're
so
kind of a
yeah.
big deal. So I don't know. What's this guy's deal, Dad?
I don't know.
I don't know, son.
It's okay. Is Step Brothers your what was favorite movie in the comedy sphere?
Superbad's pretty.
Superbad's
nuts.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Sparks are the same.
Hey, I
go from-
still, I know it's your top 10, so I won't. This is my opinion.
Sure.
I still don't get how you get Johnny English in your top 10. That's all I'll say.
Have you
all
watched it?
I haven't actually watched it,
That's the most bizarre comment I've ever heard.
but it just doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
If you said Mr. Bean, maybe, yeah, because
Mr. Bean.
it's
No,
the same
because
actor.
Mr. Bean's, he doesn't speak. I get he does some funny stuff, but
it's just physical comedy in its purest form.
yeah.
I could name 10
Go on.
movies, right?
Do it right now.
All right. Like, in
Step
order?
Brothers?
Or
No, just randomly. Go on.
Superbad, Step Brothers, Dodgeball, Benchwarmers. Wow, I'm struggling
Hangover?
here. Hangover.
Sorry. Something.
Anchorman,
Anchorman.
Talladega Nights.
No, I don't rate Talladega Nights.
Yeah, right.
No, I do rate it. That's
It's in.
Wedding Crashes.
8.
Yeah.
Sailor.
Christopher Walken.
What's the movie?
That's 8. That's a good
In
8.
between us.
What's the movie
9.
that you think you could get from minute 1 to minute 1:20 quoting the whole way?
Step Brothers.
It's probably so
Even
flat.
the music, the soundtrack, like you got the nachos and the microwave at the start.
Napoleon
Who sings that
Dynamite?
song?
No, not Napoleon. Money for wings.
It's not enough, Dad.
Dad. Longest yard. No.
Oh, that's a bad take from Steph over there.
That's-
Not
no.
sure. That's a top 10
That's not
quality.
comedy. That's like
Did I say
that's an
bench-
inspirational.
Did I say
guns and
Benchwarmers? I said
You said
Benchwarmers.
Benchwarmers.
Benchwarmers is unbelievable.
Yeah, that's one that we didn't have in our top 10, and you brought that up, and I'm like, yeah,
Benchwarmers is very underrated.
I just can't have Rob Schneider. I'm sorry. I get
you-
he's a comedy great, but
Do
I
you-
just can't have him.
What I was saying with comedies, do you classify?
Happy Gilmore?
Wow, I missed them and Billy Madison.
Madison.
That's two.
We miss Adam Sandler and Hamish. Let us
Yeah.
know that we
Do
made a
you-
mistake.
Chandler's upset with
Classify
us.
Ocean's 11 as a comedy.
No.
See, that's very funny.
It's very
that's witty.
funny, but it's like, I would say it's more of a heist movie first.
Yes, you're right.
And then the subgenre of comedy is like a secondary thing. But you've given us 10. I reckon that's a pretty good, that's a solid 10.
Actually, Notting Hill is a comedy. That is
Yeah.
in my top 10. Notting
there
Hill
you
is an
go.
amazing movie.
Excuse me?
Have you never seen
Isn't
Notting
it a
Hill?
rom-com?
You're allowed to
Rom comedy.
Yeah.
Rom.
So that's
Hugh Grant.
Oh,
I mean,
Julia Roberts. It's great.
Julia Rob Hurts. Anyway, 21 Jump Street.
21. There's just too many. It's almost
It's
too
almost
much.
too Oh, God.
have you got anything more for track?
No, we should probably go to a break and just regroup and then come back with some sponsorship stuff.
You've been great. All jokes aside, really proud of the person you are and the player you are currently. And
So am I.
yeah,
okay.
so is Angus. Thanks for coming on the show. Take home some sweets for the
I'm
family.
excited. Bella, this is all for you.
Keep
so
it away from Cos. And yeah, we'll be back after this.
Beautiful. Thanks, guys.
Thanks to our co-principal partner and podcast sponsor, Zurich Insurance. For over 100 years, they've been insuring the people and things you truly love. And just like you, they truly love footy and they truly love the D's.
Welcome back to Gus and Gawny. Like we always do, post-break, we like to thank our sponsors. And first of all, we love the team at Zurich.
Big fans of the Zurich guys.
Really
girls.
big fans of Zurich. And anyone who needs to go to Zurich, it's www.zurich.com.au. I made that up, but it sounds right.
Has to be.
Might be no .au because they're a world brand.
We'll come back to you with the website.
Yeah.
But it's either .com.au or it's just .com. In either case, great friends of ours, do a lot for our podcast.
Like all major
.com.au.
businesses, .com.au, that's good. Mate, like all, they have their tier 1 sponsors, and that's Zurich for us. Then we have a couple of tier 2s.
Boy, oh boy, we got a big pump up for the tier 2 guys today.
And our guy, Charlie Spargo's done some great work to be able to get Oliver Lock. We're currently the Raspberry Scone sponsors
aren't
Benny
they
Gibson's
just?
news segment.
Don't get my as far as scones go, get yourself down there. And the deal is you buy 10 scones, get 10% off your 11th scone.
Correct.
It's about time the news segment got its own sponsor.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And then also we've got really good news coming out of
Fat Nut Custom.
Fat
So
Nut Customs.
Charlie Spargo's been hard at work, and if you buy 10 Fat Nut Custom glass prints, Harmsy and the gang down there, they're going to give you 10% off your 11th Fat Nut Custom. That's signed, sealed, and delivered. So that's the sort of value we're bringing to you guys. Great work, Charlie Spargo, for getting that one off the ground. There's a lot of negotiation, a lot of back and forth, but we're finally getting somewhere on the
So
corporate
if you drop
front.
10 grand on Harmsy's Fat Nut Customs,
The 11 one's going to cost you 10% less. So hurry, get in, because guess what? the stock's not going to be around for long with that deal. Boy.
And then some tier 3 sponsors that hopefully will come to the party at some point, like Squash, East End Wine Bar.
Barbie Onions is something's in the works there. BFI, that's Vander's Bega Fitting and Fasteners. So if you're in the Bega region, feel free to hit him up for some fasteners.
Let's go to Benny Gibson. He's got the news.
Good start there. We'll get into the Olympics shortly, but in terms of lockdown in Victoria, it is ending tonight. The bad news is I believe the bubble is going to last, so potentially for the AFL environment, lockdown pretty much continues.
So no cafe tomorrow morning
No
for us.
cafe.
Everyone else
morning.
can play golf except for me.
No, I think golf is part of exercise. I think we're allowed to play golf, but we have to be in our own group
Okay.
or play by ourselves.
Understood. Well, that's exciting then.
So, yeah, not great news necessarily for the people in the AFL. Crowds aren't going to be back in Victoria for at least 2 weeks, so not ideal either. The last time the crowds came back, it took 7 weeks for 40,000 to get into the MCG. By the time crowds come back, an extra 7 weeks would be grand final week. So, thoughts?
Touch and go, isn't it?
Benny
What
Gibson,
are you
the
thinking?
speculating mathematician. It's not the same without crowds. Like,
I'm going to release a stat that I'm not that proud of.
go on.
We're 0.5 out of 5 at the MCG with no crowds.
Is that so?
Richmond Geelong last year lost both, and then this year we've lost to GWS, lost to Western Bulldogs, and drew with Hawthorn.
If that doesn't scream to everyone the importance of our fans to us, then I don't know what will. That's a great stat, Max.
Marble, we're 2-0 with no crowds
We had
at
a
Marble.
crowd for GWS, didn't we?
There's one I'm not thinking.
Albeit not a big one.
Who was the game before GWS? Anyway, he's
Half out of 5. That's
Yeah.
the stat we're going with.
anyway. Marble were 2-0. Carlton and Western Bulldogs both Marble with no crowd. So a little bit different in Marble, but we do need the crowd at MCG. So that's pretty important for us, Benny. So you reckon there'll be no crowd the whole way through?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm
That's
saying
what it sounds like.
Sounds a
I'm
lot
saying
like what you're saying.
potentially, if they can't get over 40,000,
Yeah.
would they look at moving the grand final? Because there could be a 20,000 crowd, but that might not be enough. And I do
Is
know
40
that,
as big as what Adelaide can get anyway?
well, Perth is the
Hands
whisper.
up in the air.
So
yeah. The Optus game was was it the Dreamtime game
yeah,
there?
packed it out. But the thing is, the AFL have got a little resort booked away just in case it's required
Over
in
in Perth.
September over in Perth.
Have
Crown-
they released
Crown-
that,
was it
or have you
Crown?
got men on the ground?
Nah, the AFL haven't released that, but other news sources
You've
have.
got men on the ground.
You got men on the ground.
I've got men on the ground.
That's what we like. He's responded
I'll
after
claim
Kay
it.
Chandler had a strong week. I've actually got some news as well, which not really news.
I don't think he was dumb, but
Yeah, no, but I just wanted to jump in. Just break up the footy news with some non-footy news. We made it officially last week, Max, as a podcast. We got mentioned on the Hamish and Andy podcast by name, Gus and Gawny podcast.
We did.
Because you bought one of their t-shirts.
Yep.
So that's obviously, you talk about us branching out and getting some fingers in ponds. The Positive Lingers merch has really started paying dividends for us. So
Hamish got a keep cup from us, albeit didn't buy it.
that's all right.
I doubt he buys much.
He probably doesn't buy much.
So I thought I'd return the favour and buy a little bit of merch.
And after hearing that, I also bought. I got a out of touch one as well.
I'm so far out of touch.
Yeah, so we've both got that. But that was a good. There we go. We've
Good
made
step.
it.
That's
You know what I mean?
news.
That's a step in the right direction. They've mentioned us on the podcast, and we've mentioned their podcast. So we're both getting benefits out of that.
Wins. There's one thing I wanted to ask you before I get into the next bit of news. Screen time. I've recently updated my software on my phone so I can check my screen time, and it's quite damning.
What
So,
are you?
I'm sorry, just quickly. That update's been there for
yeah,
2 years.
dramas. So I hadn't updated my phone in a very, very long time because I didn't like it changing all the time.
Yeah.
And then it got to a point where I couldn't update it. So I had to go into Apple.
Okay.
Yeah, big issues for someone who works in social media.
Yeah.
Can you check your screen time? Because-
Mine's 2.5 hours a day.
right. I'm hoping.
And mine's going up because I've had the timer running this whole time. I've now locked my phone to try and cap that. It's a bit grim, isn't it? 2.5 hours a day.
How am I finding it?
going to settings.
So I play music.
Scroll down.
Would that count? So I play music on the way in.
It's whenever your
I'm
phone.
not good.
Okay, so I get an
Lay it
hour.
on us.
3.5 hours.
Well, I want.
What are you?
I'm hoping a fan can make me feel better and
Yeah.
come in and
Send in your highest
send in-
screen time.
Yeah, send in.
What are you?
Last week was 9 hours and 55 minutes a day.
What? Wow, that's a.
Do you leave it on?
It's confronting.
So if you
No,
were to listen,
'cause
if you were to drive home and listen to an hour of
drive home, I don't even use the phone on the drive.
So he's
So
banking hours of zero on the.
music, so you
on
don't
the
listen to
drive.
music. If you were to play music,
Nah.
on,
That's what I
bought-
get. The podcast hour gets me an extra hour.
I
Yeah,
bought
mine's
Delta
gone up
Goodrum's
to-
CD recently though.
Mine's going
That's
up
hilarious.
as we
That's
speak.
the highest I've seen.
9 hours 55. So I'm hoping some. Yesterday I was 2 hours and 12 minutes on TikTok.
Okay, so Spotify, I've got one. You can actually break down. What did you say?
Early days, I was like, this
Just
TikTok-
pause for a second, Angus.
I was like,
Repeat.
TikTok, not getting into it. Silly idea. Clicked on a few. Not interesting. Yesterday, 2 hours and 12 minutes. So I'm hooked.
So my average, I spend an average of an hour and a half on Spotify a day.
Speaking of TikTok, Ben Gibson, as we know, has an account on
Yeah, I've
TikTok.
been posting.
He
Pretty
put up a
into it.
video
Is that
of
on your
him,
Weebly?
of him shooting a long range shot in our gym the other day, and he nailed it.
With Giannis commentary over the top. Posted a video of Paddy Mills the other day. That went
You
well.
did?
Yeah.
On your TikTok?
On my
So
TikTok.
what's TikTok? I don't have a tick. Do you have a TikTok, Max?
I do have an account.
That's a real shame. I don't have one, and I've no interest in getting one. Does that make me what's it?
Oh, it is because you've done a TikTok, so you're a fraud.
No, I haven't done it.
Yeah, you did.
No, I
you
didn't.
did a TikTok.
Nah. We can put that video up again if you want. It actually was not a TikTok, and anyway, we're getting into the. I don't want to talk about TikTok anymore.
Okay, let's go Olympics. So Aussies currently, I don't think there's been any events since this podcast has been on, but 3 gold, 1 silver, 3
Oh my
bronze.
God.
3
these are
gold,
good.
1 silver, 1 bronze.
3 bronze. So all
Who are the golds?
all in the pool. So we've got obviously Ariane Titmus yesterday.
Yep.
400 meter freestyle, great event.
That was unreal from her.
The women's relay, 100 meter freestyle, and then today, whilst you guys were in your leadership meeting, Kaylee McEwen, 100 meter backstroke, dropped the F-bomb in the post-game interview. It was all happening. She's now probably Australia's favourite athlete, according to Twitter. So
Naturally.
things are going well. I want to ask you, we were talking about the cycling. I don't really understand the cycling personally.
okay.
But
So they get on the bike and they just ride around for a bit,
yeah, pretty much.
and the first one to finish wins.
So how far is the event, Max?
I should answer that.
Yeah, eating the scones.
Hi, Mum.
Hi, Max.
We're on the podcast currently. We just wanted to say thank you so much for the scones.
And you talking to me off the podcast?
No, we're on the air.
You're on speaker.
We're not on there.
We're just having our scones during the Ben Gibson news
I can
segment.
assure you we are on the air because he doesn't talk to me at any other time.
I don't want to talk now.
Okay, see you, Mum.
No, cut
Nice to hear from her.
Where were we?
So I just wanted to mention the fact that you have ridden the distance of the cycling.
Yes.
That's
So they did a 240k ride in extreme heats. It's 35 degrees or something in Tokyo. Mine was in Tassie, complete opposite, 240k, and
Equally
I
as
doubled
challenging.
their time.
There you go.
That's impressive.
Well, what the average cyclist would weigh?
Yeah, I'm double their weight as well.
Well, that's what I was about. That's what I was trying to get at. That's probably
Yeah,
equitable.
thanks.
Happy for you, mate.
But yeah, I do love my cycling.
Do ya?
If I'm an Olympic man, it's true. If you're an Olympic fan, I'd be watching the Velodrome, which starts next
That
week.
stuff's cool. Is that when they go in teams? I like the team.
Well, there's all sorts of
velodrome.
events.
I like
There
the
is a team one.
velodrome.
Yep.
That's really cool. They ride. The wheels are very close.
Those guys have genuine power.
interests me.
What do you do on a waddy?
For 20 minutes, average, I get over 300 just.
These guys are sitting high 700-800s for long.
What
long,
losers?
Long
I
periods.
bet they
of
have
time.
no mates either. Anyway, what else you got?
so our conversation went to, would you be interested in doing in the Olympics? You said rowing would be your event.
Well, I think
You'd be a good rower.
so. I don't want to offend anyone who's in these sports.
Sure.
But that means I can say what I want now because I said I don't want to offend them.
You're in the clear.
I'm in the clear. And I get rowing is extremely hard. I've always been good on the erg, which is the indoor rower.
Yep.
Clubhouse leader at the club, quite tall.
Long
It suits. Yeah, it suits.
Just physics. Levers.
I felt like if I retired from footy today and put in 10 years of solid training and competing and getting race experience and learning my craft, I could potentially get to 2032 Brisbane.
Okay. I'm just going to disagree with that.
Okay.
And keep our potential Olympic listeners on side. Having said that, I'm now going to say something that could potentially be contentious.
You're not making the golf team.
I reckon I could be an archer. Have you seen their bows that they use?
Yeah.
How much they recalibrate them after each one? I reckon it's just you just exhale and let go, and
I
then
don't know how they ever
recalibrate your bow.
miss the 10. It's
Exactly.
like the same thing every time.
Their bows are. Have you seen
Hold
them?
on. I said I'm going to do 10 years of genuine hard training to make the rowing team, and I offended rowers. And you guys are saying I don't even know how they miss. It's so
Well,
easy.
I just said like you did. Now I don't mean to offend anyone. So
But you have,
I'm
clearly.
But like I would love to shoot one of those bows. They look like they. It's not like one of those wooden sticks that have been carved up and strung that you sort of really have to. That I'm used to
Choco's
shooting.
got some in his office.
Yeah, I was really good with them in the gym. So that's basically. I shot one of the plastic arrows once, so it's not bad.
My only other ways in, I was a beach volleyballer growing up, so I could go back to that craft, but I think I've lost that now.
Mm-hmm.
And the third option would be to start an Australian handball team. Obviously, we'd have to qualify for the Olympics at some point. We just had to beat like a Denmark.
The Danes are pretty good.
Yeah, let's beat a Denmark to get in there.
Mm.
Like, get some AFL play. Rory Lobb, have a look at Rory Lobb. We disagreed with this. Rory Lobb has got the handball physique.
Yeah.
Like long arms, get him
I didn't
in.
disagree on the physique. I was told that handball's quite physical, and I thought that might be his downfall. Just
AFL's pretty physical too.
We do not pot opposition players on this
observer of
podcast.
his-
That's what's the American basketballer's name?
Mason
Joel
Cox.
There's one more talking
Joel Embiid. Sorry,
Embiid.
we're a positive
saying
podcast.
that's not Rory Lobb's biggest strength as a player.
He plays AFL. He must have some anyway.
He does. He has.
I also
He's
reckon-
one of the best contested marks in the comp.
I also reckon we'd make a half decent synchronized swimming team.
Me and you.
Us as a group, we could get it. We could put some. We could.
So I'm confused. Me and you, or the
and
whole group?
We'd recruit some players as well into the equestrian, not the equestrian, the synchronized swimming.
This is spiraling this podcast, isn't
Well,
it?
no, because you think about it, we have structures all the time, and so you wouldn't get guys like track who,
I would say synchronized swimming would be one of the harder ones.
well, we just have to do the same thing at the same time.
Good point.
So when you put it like that,
I think badminton.
nah, that's
Nah, you're
hyper
way off
competitive.
there.
That's a terrible
You're way
take.
off
You
there.
watch the.
That's a really bad take.
when I was being,
Let him
I've been
finish.
watching it, and by the time the thing hits the ground, like you got a lot of
Shuttlecock?
time. Yeah, that. By the time, surely you could get it back.
Yeah, I'm not saying you couldn't get it back. I've actually watched the badminton before, and it's hyper competitive. So we'd be able to get it over the net. You want to compete with these guys? I think you've probably got a better shot in synchronized swimming.
I'm a big racket sport man, and badminton's
Oh, yeah.
easily the hardest.
Yep.
There's
How
been-
about ping pong? What about the Aussie lady who's 48?
She came into the
Yeah.
club 6 years ago and just wiped the court, played Burnsy, and Burnsy couldn't get her serve back.
That's
So
right.
sixth Olympics.
Yeah, so good on her.
Impressive.
Pretty happy with that. Any other news?
Nah, that's all for me.
We've got to do our Eddie Langdon segment.
It's Eddie Langdon.
Yeah.
Segment. Big pump up for Lingers this week. I'm going to throw some names out there to start with, Max, and I want you to tell me what they've got in common. Jack Viney, Jack Steele, Jim Jordan,
Hugh Greenwood.
Ed Langdon.
You had me when you said the first four names. I thought inside tackling beasts.
Heavy tacklers.
Then you've lost me on the fifth.
Okay. Well, this is a quote.
What do they have in common?
This is a quote from our head coach.
Simon.
I'm paraphrasing, so it's not going to be identical for those listening at home, but the general gist is Ed Langdon is probably the best low-down tackler in our team.
Simon said that.
Simon said that. So for those who don't know what a low-down tackle is, it's self-explanatory, but when someone's got their head over the ball, instead of giving a high free kick away like some people do, they just get reckless. Lang is the best tackler in the competition at getting down low and wrapping them up. So I reckon he gets a bad rap. Well, not a bad rap. You think of Ed Langdon, you think
Outside
runner,
player.
you think outside player, but he's also the hardest the heavy hitter category when it comes to low down tackles. So I thought that was a little bit of a pump up and maybe a perception changer for our boy Ed Langdon.
Speaking of Simon, he really wants to get on the podcast.
So we had a feedback session this morning where it was like, feel free to give someone feedback, good or bad, about how they've gone so far. And Goody came up to me and he's like, I don't have any feedback for you, but I really want to be on the show. And I didn't want to write that on your paper because it's it's a serious exercise, but get me on the show.
So, sorry, as I eat my scone.
I told him there's a long queue and we'll think about it.
I think our next win, he's on. We can't get him after a loss.
No, that wouldn't be great.
Yeah, he's still angry at us.
Yeah. So, I mean, okay. So, is that something we're committing to?
Well, I think it's...
How's the scone?
Need a drink?
I think it's important to bring him in because he's got to know that in the end, this podcast pays his wage.
I think that would really knock him down a few pegs.
It would. So he wants to have lunch in the podcast room a lot and says,
I've noticed that.
He goes, you guys get always the good rooms and whatnot.
Disrespect.
But in the end, we're paying his wage. We're driving memberships to the record membership level. So I think it's only fair he comes on. He won't be getting his scones because he's doing it for free.
No, and if he wants to bring lunch, maybe then.
Yeah.
Does he have a shell corporation that can sponsor the podcast somehow? Or something?
Surely.
Oh, he's got a hotel in South Australia.
Not anymore.
Doesn't have a hotel. Yeah, that's about it.
Anything more? What else?
No, I'm good.
You're done? You're done?
I'm well and truly
That's
done.
another episode of Gus and Gawny. It's been a lot of fun.
Hasn't it?
Keep cups.
I've circled a few names.
The last 10.
The last 10.
Most people, I have been given some feedback that this is their favourite part of the show.
And have you heard any feedback you got my name wrong or you butchered my name or anything along those lines?
No, just Emily.
Emily hates you. You've made a mortal enemy, but that's okay.
She's now got a name change as well. She will never be Emily ever again.
Yeah, it's a unique name, but that's all right.
These are the last 10.
There's a couple of Jaffas here. I'd like to see how you go. I've circled a few as always. So off you go. Congratulations. We had 6,000 entries into the competition. Did you see that?
Oh, thank you, everyone.
That's a lot of entries.
Yeah. You know what? We might be able to get another 10 out.
We'll see.
6,000.
That's a lot of entries.
You can. You've got your 50 to...
Well, you still have to,
shh.
we have our 5
Yeah, our 5.
to distribute.
Now,
here
the
you go.
first one, I'm unsure if it's...
That's why I've circled...
No, I'm just unsure if the first name or the last name are in the wrong spot.
I want you to know I've circled both of them. And
I know how to say both of them.
Go on.
Woodrow Eek.
Yep.
But is it Eek Woodrow?
Can't be Eek Woodrow. It cannot be Eek Woodrow. Look at the other 9 names, and you tell me if you think there's a trend.
Jamie Watt.
That's number 2. Tick. Well done, Jamie.
Courtney High.
Okay, so I've circled High. I don't know if it's Haig.
No,
Is it High or Haig?
definitely High.
Well, Courtney High. You could. I'd circled that one. That we butchered that.
Natasha Jai Syria. I was never going to butcher that.
Yeah, I said to Gus.
Sadaf Jai Syria, great finger spinner, and opened the batting for Sri Lanka.
A great Sri Lankan batsman is my memory of him.
Bart Hoggett. On your Bart. Thanks for answering. Josh Pethybridge.
Yep, tick that one off. So you've gone through the hard stuff.
Really? Rodney Alley. I like the name Rodney.
Do ya?
Jordan Toy.
Yep, Jordan.
Maz Hill on your hilly.
Is Maz the... Actually, that's...
And Lillian King. Well done to you, 10. You get the last 10 cups unless Gus and I decide to somehow get another 10 cups.
10 more, but that was 6,000 entries. That's unreal.
Hope everyone's enjoying their homebrew coffee out of it.
Sponsored by the Langdon Coffee Company.
Yeah, it's just send us through send Ed through your photos.
Tag him because I can't tag him anymore.
Tag
he
Ed.
blocked me.
Tag Ed. If you get your keep cup, make sure you take a photo of it and just tag. Is it E Langdon 15?
Yeah, I think it's Eddie Langdon. I don't know. I've been blocked.
Eddie
so
_ sexy _
Eddie _ positive lingers _
Yep.
sticky fingers _ Melbourne Grammar for life.
And we're done.
And
Thanks, team. See you next week.
You will. Bye bye.